our plea to the world is to really to consider climate change as a reality.
Welcome back to Planet Earth, Our Loving Home, where we are featuring interviews and presentations from the 31st session of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change held in Bali, Indonesia in October 2009. Most developing countries have been heavily impacted by global warming. For example, island nations such as the Seychelles, located east of Africa in the Indian Ocean, have seen rising sea levels and higher tides. The seawater often comes inland, sinking into the underground water supplies and ruining agriculture. Mr. Antoine Marie Moustache, Chief Executive Officer of the Seychelles Agricultural Agency, shares his nation's experiences with climate change.
We're experiencing sea level changes because of thermal expansion, higher sea surface temperature, and this is coupled with higher wind conditions. Then you find that at high tides the seawater is whipped onto the shore. In fact, in certain cases you find seawater seepaging into the coastal zone. It's not obvious probably, but it comes in the soil and affects the freshwater resource on the coast. It affects the plants that are being grown on the coast. It's important to note that in the case of the Seychelles, 70% of the traditional agricultural land is found on the coast. If there is seawater seepaging into the agricultural soil, definitely that would affect food production. There is negative impact on food security of the islands.
Global warming has also radically changed rainfall patterns, with high fluctuating precipitation jeopardizing food supplies for many nations.
Since 1997, we've had a series of extreme events in which we've had periods of intense rainfall followed by periods of drought. It's like the sky opens up. Now, with that, any crop out in the field is automatically and immediately damaged. So that means loss of farm income, loss of livelihood, but above all, a loss of food security. On the other hand, in times when there is drought, there is difficulty in cultivation. This also implies that there is a loss of income, there's a loss of production, and consequently a loss in food security.
Fiji, located in the South Pacific, recently experienced intense flooding and is seeing more and more land lost to sea. Mr. Rajendra Prasad, Director of the Fiji Meteorological Service, gives his perspective on this frightening trend.
We have observed fairly extreme events. No, nothing seems to be normal these days. There's very extreme floods. For example, we experienced one of the worst floods in 50 years in January this year. And we have seen coastlines changing with soil erosion, storm surge effect, wave effect, and you name it. So in a way, there has been a visible effect of climate change. Fiji itself has got over 300 small islands. So in the outer islands, or the erosion of the coastline will have impact and maybe even require people to be relocated. Most of the villages are near the coastline or the mouth of rivers, and they're all being affected.
Alphonse Kanga, a meteorologist from Congo in Central Africa, has witnessed many unsettling changes in his nation's weather patterns.
Donc la décennie, la température minimale est en train d'augmenter. Et nous avons aussi remarqué dans la partie nord du pays une augmentation du nombre d'inondations. On peut comparer, par exemple, dans la décade 60, de 60 à 70, on avait eu une seule inondation dans la plaine alluviale, dans la plaine Nord-Congo, alors que dans les années 90, nous avons eu à remarquer autour de 3 à 4 inondations, ce qui est important. Donc, c'est des effets de changement climatique. Deuxièmement, dans une région où la température était très faible, et les manguiers ne produisaient pas. Maintenant, on commence à observer des fruits qui poussent.
What can be done about the heating of our planet? In the recently published paper, Livestock and Climate Change, in World Watch magazine, former and current World Bank environmental experts, Dr. Robert Goodland and Jeff Anhang, conclude that more than 51% of human-caused global greenhouse gas emissions come from the livestock industry. These experts also point out that factory farming puts out enormous amounts of methane, accounting for more than 37% of all anthropogenic sources. This toxic gas has 72 times the global warming potential of carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. Dr. Goodland and Mr. Anhang conclude that the best strategy for reversing climate change is for humanity to adopt a plant-based diet.
Considering livestock causes 51% of the global greenhouse gases, what should the world be focusing on?
Well, I mean, that's really quite a significant observation, and basically it means that we need to reduce livestock in general, and so eat less meat. I think we should rely on more vegetables, green stuff, rather than livestock.
I am very much for vegetarian diet, but I am not the vegetarian myself, but maybe I become someday. I think also the medical authorities say that people eat too much meat in Europe, so I think if you can get to eat less meat, it is a good move now.
May the good news about the organic vegan diet spread far and wide, and may this life-saving way of living be adopted as the solution to our planetary crisis during the United Nations Climate Summit in Copenhagen. For more details on the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, please visit www.ipcc.ch. Eco-conscious viewers, thank you for your company on today's program. Please join us next Wednesday on Planet Earth, Our Loving Home, for Part 2 of our feature on the 31st session of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. May your life be imbued with divine love and grace.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/PE